So every week I've been loading up on pretty much the same three dividend stocks: Snap-on, 3M, and StarBucks. And in this video, I want to share with you all the reasons why I've been focusing so much on these three increasingly affordable dividend stocks, as well as what my current position is looking like with each one, which, spoiler alert, it's not great. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and I've been documenting my investing journey with dividend stocks for the last year and a half or so. And for me, dividend investing has been hands down the easiest way to create passive income. Just in the last couple of years, I've been able to grow this portfolio from $0 in dividends to now over $135 every single month. And twice a week, I'm coming to you sharing not only the process of how I'm doing it and how this income will continue to grow, but how you can do the same thing as well, because dividend stock investing really is something anyone can do, even with no experience. Anyway, getting right into it, guys, we are here on Charles Schwab, which is the brokerage that I use to buy and sell stocks. And as you can see, my portfolio is currently valued at $34,552.12, which is down about $500 compared to last week. And in this time period, we've lost about 2.25% in unrealized gain. It's all good though, guys. Every single week, whether the market is up or down, I'm contributing $150 to this portfolio to buy more dividend stocks. And lately, pretty much all I've been swooping up are those three we mentioned earlier. I mean, just this week, I invested $50 into Snap-on and got about a quarter of a share of that. I put another $50 into 3M and got 0.35 shares. And then lastly, I put another $50 into Starbucks and got just over half a share of Starbucks, bringing my total contributions for the week to right at like $150. Now, there's a few reasons I've been honing in specifically on these three stocks. The first of which being that they are just all so down in my portfolio right now. And if we go over to this gain and loss page, starting with 3M at the top, we can see I have about 11.67 shares of 3M, and my position overall is down nearly 15%. So it's seen a really big drop. And then scrolling down, taking a look at Snap-on, guys, I'm actually not down too much in Snap-on. I have 6.7 shares, and I'm down about 2.5%. And then lastly, Starbucks, I have nearly 22 shares of Starbucks, and my position is down over 14%. So Starbucks and 3M both have really taken a hit for me, and then Snap-on is slowly but surely making its way down as well. In the case of the first two companies, guys, I mean, 3M is going through a lawsuit right now that has to do with some of their earplugs that they have. And then Starbucks has been seeing a decline in share price, mainly due to some inflationary pressures, as well as supply chain issues. So that's bringing that stock share price down quite a bit. To me, though, this is actually a great thing. I mean, I plan on holding each of these companies for a pretty long period of time, assuming they don't cut their dividend or anything drastic happens to them. And all of this negative news coming out is creating a really great buying opportunity to pick up these really high quality dividend stocks at a discount, which is something I'm very stoked to be able to take advantage of right now. In my experience so far, it's been rare to find these companies at the discounts that they're at right now. And to elaborate a little bit more on this, the last time Starbucks was at its current price, which is around $85 per share, was back towards the end of August in 2020. The last time 3M was at its current price of around $144 per share was in April 2020, basically near the start of the pandemic. And honestly, guys, Snap-on hasn't seen a very substantial drop. I mean, last time it was at its current price of around $210 per share was this time last year. At any rate, with each day, these stocks seem to be getting cheaper and cheaper. And because I'm essentially buying the dip, every additional purchase is lowering my average cost per share, which is a really great thing to do if you have the opportunity to do so. By lowering your average cost per share, you're essentially creating more downside protection because your average cost is getting closer to zero. And the lowest any stock share price can go is zero, right? But also at the same time, you're increasing the potential for a greater return in the future if these stocks should ever appreciate in value or increase in share price, which over a long period of time they tend to do. And unless something drastic happens or these companies decide to cut the dividend for whatever reason, I'm going to be rocking with them well into the future. So I don't mind these short-term discounts at all. In fact, it's pretty welcomed. Now, the second reason I'm loading up on these three stocks is because I think by adding more shares, it will really help with the diversification of my portfolio. And to explain that a little bit further, let's jump over to the screen. All right, guys, now what we are looking at here is the Dividend Tracker, which is one of the platforms that I use to track the performance of my portfolio. And there's a free version of this platform if you guys want to use it. The link to grab it is in the description of this video. There's also a paid version, which is the version that I'm using here. And what I want to hone in on today is this diversification over here. So we're going to click that. It's going to show the diversification of my portfolio. We're going to hone in just on my Charles Schwab portfolio right here. And you guys can see how well my portfolio is diversified. Now, what I want to show you guys is my top 5 holdings right now. So Realty Income is my biggest position, making up nearly 7% of my portfolio. AT&T is in second, right behind Realty Income. Altria Group, ticker symbol MO, is there in third place. Then we have Chevron and Johnson & Johnson in fourth and fifth place, respectively. And truth be told, none of these stocks I want to have as top 5 positions in my portfolio, except for maybe Johnson & Johnson as an exception. A lot of this has really happened by accident, especially Chevron, which the only reason it's in my top 5 is because it has appreciated so much. I think my position is up nearly 80% right now. But at any rate, I'm really not that comfortable with AT&T or Realty Income or Altria Group being the biggest positions in my portfolio. I'd rather have stocks like Procter & Gamble or Starbucks or 3M or even Snap-on be some of those top 5 positions. So furthermore, guys, to dive in a little bit deeper to my diversification, taking a look at it by income, AT&T right now is my biggest income generating position and brings in about 13% of my portfolio's total dividend income every single year. And they just cut their dividends. So that's not good for me. Second, Altria Group makes up nearly 10% of my portfolio's income. Okay, third, we have EPD. I'd like to be a little bit more well-rounded as to where my income is coming from. And as you guys can see here, Snap-on makes up only 2% of my portfolio's total income. And then Starbucks, which is right there, makes up about 2.5%. So I have a lot of room to continue growing the income in those 2 holdings specifically. And even going over to 3M right here, it's 4% of my portfolio, which is not too bad, but still nonetheless, I'd like to have a better balance as to where my income is coming into this portfolio, not just in some of these heavy hitter, high yielder stocks like AT&T or Altria Group or EPD, which are 3 of the highest yielding positions in my portfolio. Some of these other stocks like Snap-on or Starbucks have a lot to offer in terms of dividend growth, which is really the direction I'm trying to head in my portfolio. And this actually brings me to the third reason I've been going so heavy on these 3 stocks. Going over to Seeking Alpha, guys, scrolling down, taking a look at the dividend stats, what I really want to hone in on is the dividend growth rate. Snap-on has a 5-year dividend growth rate of 15% and 12 years of dividend growth. That's right up my alley. And then taking a look at Starbucks, if we just type in Starbucks right there and scroll down, we can see that that has nearly a 16% 5-year dividend growth rate with 11 years of consecutive dividend growth. Okay, like I just said, I'm really trying to build up more dividend growth positions in my portfolio. I have some good high yielders. I've got the AT&Ts, I've got the Altria Groups, I've got the EPD, but I need more growth. And that's where these stocks come in. And then in the case of 3M, guys, like going over to check out those dividend stats, the dividend growth isn't super high. It's about 5.5%, 5.7%, which is not too terrible. Their dividend yield is now officially over 4%, which really more than anything is an indicator of how cheap the stock is getting, which goes back to my first point. They're just too cheap to ignore. But 3M, one of the other perks to buying it at such low prices is you're getting a dividend king with 63 years of consecutive dividend growth at a pretty steep discount. So, and as far as next week goes and probably the weeks that follow, I'm going to be buying these same 3 dividend stocks. I want to continue building up my Snap-on position, my Starbucks position, and my 3M position. And the only reason I would maybe swap one of those out is to buy another stock I'm trying to build up, which is Intel, which is also looking to be at a pretty nice discount. And that's pretty much how it goes with dividend stocks, guys. I mean, it's just repetition and consistency, continually investing in buying more stocks, and over time taking baby steps forward and slowly but surely growing this portfolio. And with that, if you guys are hungry for more dividend stock content, then check out this video right over here. And also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.